Sometimes art is prophetic, and sometimes I don't know how to offset it. The words too authentic to constantly do what I do and augment it. Y'all talk a big game, can't tell if y'all meant it. As seconds turns to minutes, the ticking will tell all. Will you hold firm or steadily fall? Will you conform with the ways of the world, or will you give the world everything that you are? Make them fuckers move around you, kinda like sound do. Break out of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that, yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compares soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face smudge dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate is God's real or not. Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body rock, hardcore karate chop, neo-Nazi nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame. He's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play. No, I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your juggler when I'm on stage, until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do, it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses I make bumping in your system. I mean banging it, and I'm still hanging it. And I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample from me, so get up.
one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No,
Greatest
high
Super Bowl time.
expectations.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 166. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
And I'm your other co-host. Damn, if you like me, my name is Mahlon, Dennis.
And our special guest this week, June Buckspade. He's back, made his return. What's up, June?
What's going on? I'm glad to be back.
Yes,
Like
good
I've
to
been
have
gone
you.
so long.
Nestor is...
June is a traveling man.
Yeah, he is. This week, Nestor's a traveling man. He is out of town. So June is going to most likely be on for the entire show this week. So in the second half, we're picking up G Money like we typically do. But for the first half, it's the three amigos here. So let's open up the show like we always do.
God damn.
Cheers,
Here we
gentlemen.
go.
I don't have anything to drink tonight. I'm sorry.
Oh, he was caught.
What are you cheersing with there, Jalen?
I've got some wild turkey.
Ooh, there you go.
A little different.
Right. I'm doing 4 rows of single barrel.
Nice.
Can't go wrong there.
And 4 rows of single barrel because I kind of feel like my Huskies should be playing the Rose Bowl, but people like to put cheaters in the number 1 spot. That's fine.
Subtle nod.
I saw that burnt orange. I knew what it was. Took up a dog hat on. Oh,
We'll
baby.
treat you right at our home game.
Home game. You guys would have claimed Louisiana as a home game.
I mean, come on. We're right there.
I will just say this, that for the Huskies, the 2 times they've been in the playoff now, back in 2016, they had to go down to Georgia to play Alabama
Mm-hmm.
in 2016. And now we got to go down to New Orleans to play Texas. I'm like, really? Like, what? Why are we even the 2 seed at this
Oh,
point?
goodness.
That's stupid. But we don't win either.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, is Jalen frozen on your screen or just mine?
I think that's just yours. He's bobbing around like a bobblehead right now.
Oh,
good.
okay.
He's trying to seduce Buddy the Elf.
I don't know why it's doing that. Hold
Trying to
on.
give Mariah Carey's number.
Here we go.
We are a
Love it.
festive show. This
Switch
time of
positions.
year.
Here we go.
Hello.
I wouldn't switch positions. That'll make.
I got it. We're good now.
For those that are new here, we do talk NFL and NBA. This is a weekly podcast that we do Wednesdays, 9:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to check us out on YouTube. That's where we always live stream. If you cannot watch us live, you can catch the pre-recorded video once it's done here on YouTube, or just click the first link down in the description below to be taken to your favorite podcast platform. So there's that. But we're going to get right into the first topic of the week. And we're going to start off with a recap of last week in the NFL. And we're going to start with the Titans and the Dolphins game, one of the Monday night games, with the Titans upsetting the Dolphins 28-27. Dolphins losing in dramatic fashion. So let's start off with June, you being back. Everyone's dying to hear from you. Will this loss haunt the Dolphins?
Yes. They had an opportunity to really take control of their division, and they had an opportunity to basically control the destiny for the number one seed. Now you're only one game ahead of the Buffalo Bills, and you still have to play them again. And then now you lose the first place seed to the Ravens. So now, say you get through the playoffs, you're gonna have to go and see the Ravens at their house in the wintertime. That has always spelled disaster for the Miami Dolphins. Or, it's one of those things where it's just a bad loss. I mean, I don't know what their coach was thinking this game or why this team wasn't prepared to play, but this is the type of time of season where you have to be focused. It reminded me of my Cowboys the last few years in December. Just taking an idiotic loss to a team you shouldn't lose to. And it always comes back to haunt you. So 100% this loss is going to come back to haunt them.
Go ahead, Mahlon.
I think that, first of all, somebody get Will Levis on a milk commercial, a Wheaties box. Let him know that he can work out something else besides his arms. Good God, that man as a cannon is like, his arm is like taking a turret out of the Battleship Missouri. Like, Jesus Christ. That man, like, when he was hugging somebody, and I saw the veins, I was like, someone need to do a PED test on that man. Like, the only person with more swole arms than Will Levis right now is Rock, and we all know that man's taking the needle. But I digress. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. You're up 13 points with 3 minutes left against a team with a rookie quarterback. It was not lighting it up.
No.
It wasn't playing great, right? And you go out there, you start slinging the ball, and you don't even make Tennessee use their timeouts. So you have bad clock management with McDaniels. Let's go ahead and pull the sweats down. They're not actually capris. I know you got like a $100,000 watch that's set to 2:46 p.m. because that's when you got the call and you got hired. Maybe put a battery in it, man. I don't know, something. You're just a little bit too relaxed right now as the head coach. You're caring a little bit too much about the sneaker game and not the clock. And they're also way too dependent on Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like last year, Tyreek Hill and Waddle had damn near the same amount of yards. Right? Now you got Tyreek on pace for well over 2,000. You got Waddle damn near barely even projected to hit over 1,000 yards. They've swung the pendulum so much. You lose your starting center for the rest of the year. So we have no idea what that's going to do to the run game. I hope nothing because I got most certain A-Chain. I'm a fantasy team and I'm in the playoffs, baby. So I need whoever they put in there at center. Please block somebody. Please. I'll buy you, something, a beer, maybe. But, they just, here's where it's really going to hurt them, right? Miami is about speed. They're about precision, right? They can't afford to lose. When you have the opportunity in December to snag the number one seed and lose that, where are the other two teams that could possibly get the number one seed right now? Oh, Baltimore? You want to be in Baltimore in the AFC Championship game? You want to be in Kansas City? I mean, Nick Wright is pretty much already named the Lamar Trent Trophy, the Chiefs home away from home, championship game because they've been playing it for 6 straight years. Miami, if they could, they need to have that number one seed.
Yeah.
And for them to drop that game, that they should win against a bad team. First of all, they're not even beating good teams. You look at their schedule, they haven't beaten a bunch of good teams. Their only claim to fame is they hadn't lost to any bad teams yet. Losing record. Now you've done that too. So I think it's a terrible loss. The way it happened makes it worse. The way you lost makes it worse. And then with your injuries, with Tyreek Hill being day to day with the ankle, and you're losing your starting center, it just Miami fans were happy. 3 minutes left in the fourth, and then somebody was just walking out in South Beach and never came back. I know there's some people who did it.
Yeah, this will come back to haunt them for sure because it is going to cost them a home playoff game. June, like you said, he knows better than anybody. Cowboys are infamous for doing stuff like this, so this is going to come back and bite them for sure. When you're up that much with just a couple minutes left, and they were over there celebrating the end zone, doing wheelbarrow each other, like just all this wild stuff. And then to just completely fold up like that, that's just unacceptable. And in the process, you lose your best player. We don't completely lose him. He's day to day now, but that's really not good. They need Tyreek to play. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He's got to be out there. And the starting center is definitely done. That's really bad. They're in definitely a heap of trouble. And I will give credit to Tennessee because Mike Vrabel teams, man, he does not have them come out and just lay eggs. Like those games where everybody expects them to just get rolled, they always come out and still fight. And even when you think it's over, they still played. They played really, really well. Everybody came to show up. They didn't just fold it up and go home. So on the road, great job to them. But the Dolphins are in some serious trouble.
And we would be remiss if we did not add the history that they became a part of. There have been 2,846 football games where a team has been trailing by 13 or 14 points with 3 minutes left in the game, and only 7 times has that team lost. Wow. And not only that, 767 straight games have been played in the NFL when the Dolphins were in their position and they were undefeated. Like, epic.
Yeah.
Collapse.
And you hear something crazy, so listen to their schedule. You got the Jets, Knicks, who that game just got a lot tougher. They got the Cowboys, they got the Ravens, and then they got the Bills.
Oh yeah. The Jets
this
were
lost.
Oh yeah.
This loss, man. Goodness.
They
gracious.
might not be favored but one game out of the next 4.
Right.
And, the Jets are finding out, they fucked around and found out what happens when you bench Zach Wilson and give him nothing to lose. He goes out there and throws for 300 bricks and wins himself AFC Player of the Week, which I'm at my misery in 5. But it's not like that. Like, if they don't got Tyreek, man, and the Jets got a defense.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Like, oh, man, you couldn't lose this game to the Titans.
Nope.
You just said Cowboys, Ravens, and Bills.
Right.
Good luck.
All 3 teams fighting for either MVP, number 1 seed, or wild card berths right now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, let's move on to the next game. The Chiefs and the Bills, where the Bills won 20-17 in Kansas City. June, did the refs cost the Chiefs in this game, or was this, their own doing?
Nope. One call does not lose you a game, okay? It may, because you shouldn't be in a position where the one call is going to affect your game, okay? You're supposed to be a championship team. You should be playing at this time of year. You're supposed to be playing at a championship level, and you got a team that's fighting for the playoffs. A team that you shouldn't. They're a decent team. The Bills aren't the best, but they're a decent team. They fighting for their playoff lives. You should be going up there trying to make a statement against this team. And for that receiver to have a mental breakdown. When I played receiver in high school, the one thing I did when I had to line up on the line was look at the ref and point to him. He pointed to me. He either said move up or move back. This guy had a mental breakdown. If he would have got, the call would have stood as a touchdown. If he would have looked at the ref and the ref would have said he's good, and then some other ref would have threw a flag, the other ref would have came in and said, no, I got him. That guy went up there, didn't pay attention. A basic function that you learn in high school, Pop Warner, you learn how to line up with the refs. And you line up offsides. And then for Patrick Mahomes to get mad at the refs and want to fight the refs and yelling and cursing and doing everything else, no, dude. Your player did that. Your player and your bad play and your coach's bad play calling at the end of the game did this. I mean, come on. What are you doing, Patrick Mahomes? What? I don't know what's going on with this team, but it definitely was not the refs' fault. It was their fault.
Go ahead, Mahlon.
Listen. Show of hands if you lost just a little bit of respect for Patrick Mahomes this last week. If you thought he acted just a little bit childish. No? Okay, there you go. I knew it, man. Because up until this point, like, he was the golden boy of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And he lost his goddamn mind.
He was acting like his wife.
Yeah, like his brother, too. I'm surprised that Mahomes didn't try to pin somebody in the tunnel and make out with him. Like, literally, tears in his eyes. Freaking the fuck out for like 15 minutes. And how do you go up to Josh Allen and start complaining about the flag like he's not your biggest rival in the AFC?
Right.
Exactly.
Like, knocked him out of the playoffs in some epic games, and here you are in the regular season, and you can't just dap nobody up. A nice game. Start talking about the most bullshit call ever in NFL history. That's what they were making it seem, right?
Yeah.
Worst call in NFL history.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to talk about last week with the Packers because they didn't have that pass interference, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a makeup call because there was no way the Chiefs should have gotten 15 yards for a late hit out of bounds on Mahomes when he was inbounds on the same damn drive.
Yep.
Exactly.
Jalen, you hit it right the nail on the head talking about how they won a Super Bowl off of some ticky-tack shit. A ticky-tack call got fouled, they won a Super Bowl. Now here we are, first week of December, they lose a game, ticky-tack shit, they want to lose their minds. The problem is that I heard the Chiefs say time and time again that we need to play Chiefs ball. We're not playing Chiefs ball. The problem is they don't have the talent to play Chiefs ball no more. When you're missing someone like Juju, when you're missing those 960 yards, I guarantee you Shaq's biodome ass is not missing Juju right now. I guarantee right now that Jalen wishes to hell that he didn't have Juju on his team. That man out there snatching jerseys at the stands and walking into the tunnel with him. He's straight up stealing from fans right now. Man, it's crazy. But you got the Chiefs missing that production. They're missing Tyreek Hill. You know, Kelsey is not open all the time because he's double and triple teamed all the time. They lead the NFL in drop passes by 17. 17 more drop passes than anybody else. Why are you losing games? Like, Mahomes, go hold your wide receiver room accountable.
Right.
What the hell are they doing? Tony was offsides like 5 or 6 times in that game, and the refs were giving him opportunities to correct himself, but he was never looking at the ref to see if he was good. And so the ref was like, nah, fuck it, I'll throw the flag. And for Patrick Mahomes to then talk about legacies and greatness and how this is going to impact Travis Kelce, and I was like, okay, so basically what you're saying is, well, because it was a cool play, like, we shouldn't throw a flag because it didn't benefit us, even though Tony scored the touchdown, though he was damn near in the backfield when they snapped the ball. Like, stop it, man. Like, damn, the Chiefs just, they are in the second phase, and I kind of feel of this dynasty, and I kind of feel like Mahomes is feeling the pressure of all of the, and You're supposed to be the next Brady, so you got to win more Super Bowls. And I think when you lose a game to the Bills like that, you start feeling like, how do I keep up? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like he's feeling pressure. But they just don't have the talent. And that's what happens when you pay your quarterback. The Patriots went through that. They went through not paying Brady, won 3 Super Bowls. Then they started paying Brady, didn't win anything. Got the doors beat off of them by the Ravens one time, 41-10 at home in the playoffs. Then Brady scales back his contract. They pick up, Moss and Welker, and they draft some people. They still didn't win a Super Bowl then, but then they end up ripping off 3 more because Brady's not making as much money. Like, there's levels to this.
Yeah.
But right now they're in stage 2. And in stage 2 of the Tom Brady dynasty, he wasn't winning the Super Bowls. So, I don't know. They just need to quit bitching.
Yeah, I was just about to say that this is exactly what happens when you give your quarterback that fat contract, because it's hard to pay everybody else. So that's why you can't keep Tyreek and Juju, although we just gave him too much money to come to New England anyway. But that's neither here nor there. When that play first happened, and I was just like, are you kidding me? That was wild. And the flag graphic comes up, and I'm like, oh, don't tell me it was holding. And then they show the, Tony lined up, and immediately you saw, he was off. Like, it was no, like, his toe, like, if you put the line down, you could see, like, it was plain sight. As soon as you saw it, he was blatantly off. So, with that being said, I immediately was like, well, I don't feel bad for them. Like, it wasn't even ticky-tack that they called it. It was just, he was blatantly off. And we don't know if Patrick Mahomes is getting on his receivers behind closed doors, but I would guess probably not. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that's going on.
The enemy was the bad cop. Andy Reid was the good cop. Mahomes didn't have to do it.
Right.
Mahomes doesn't get treated like Brady with Belichick either. That's the other thing.
Yep.
He's got kid gloves on. He's like Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, man. So when things don't start going their way, they start lashing out like little fucking children.
Right. So that really needs to kind of start happening, because that's it. Because if the Chiefs could get rid of Kadarius Toney, he would have been going a long time ago. But they have no other options right now. So you have to work with what you have, and Mahomes has got to light a fire under these dudes' asses, because they're stuck with what they've got for the rest of the year. This is what they have to win a Super Bowl with. On the Bills side, damn it, I'm mad they won this game. I really don't like seeing the Bills having any kind of success. So this keeps them alive in the playoff race, and just like, damn it, Kansas City, if you could have just taken care of business.
I do gotta disagree with you on this, Jalen. Is that I think the AFC playoffs are better with Josh Allen is in it. Anything can happen.
They are, yes. I just
he could be a flaming pile of shit.
Right.
And everyone's going to talk about it, or he could do some magical crap, and everyone's going to talk about it. And, at the end of the game, if the Chiefs wanted to, beat the Bills, maybe don't let James Cook be the leading rusher and leading receiver.
Right.
James Cook.
Right.
We're not. This isn't confused with Dalvin Cook.
Right.
This ain't the other Cook. This is James Cook. 10 carries, 58 yards, 5 catches, 83 and a touchdown. You let him be the leading receiver, rusher, but you bitching about a flag. Go beat the shit out of wide receiver group. I'm surprised Kelsey hasn't done it yet. I'd have taken that belt to someone's head already. Choked somebody out with a coat.
It's safe to say that the Chiefs are going to be drafting wide receivers next year.
I sure hope
and
so.
their first 3 draft picks may be wide receivers. Because they're going to have to make a trade, because I can tell you now, they're going to, number one, they're going to have to make a trade for a veteran wide receiver unless one gets released. You start looking at the Chargers maybe releasing,
Mike Will or
Williams,
Keenan Allen,
Keenan Allen. Oh, don't let that happen.
The Chargers, and then they're going to have to get, if they want to get back into being a dominant team, they have to get a veteran wide receiver, and then they got to get young studs at wide receiver. If not, if they try to come into with another group of wide receivers next year, they're gonna that team is going to fail. This team is going to fail. Mahomes is good, but Mahomes ain't that good. He ain't Brady good. Brady,
You know
Brady
what?
can take a wide receiver and make the guy great, and then get rid of him the next year, bring another guy in.
You know, that's just like
Mahomes
Andy
on
Reid
that.
with Donovan McNabb, man. He
Mm.
never went to the Super Bowl until they got Terrell Owens.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys remember wide receiver Reggie Sanders. If Reggie Sanders is your number one wide receiver, you're not going to Super
Oh,
shit
no.
who you are. But you know what needs to happen? Kelsey needs to go into that wide receiver room and say, "Don't make me tell Taylor to write a song about y'all, because you'll get dragged and you'll be on her next concert tour. Like, don't do it. Shape the fuck up."
Freddie Mitchell. They had Freddie Mitchell too. Remember?
Freddie
With the
Mitchell.
belt.
Yeah. Oh, Freddie Mitchell. Not concussed Freddie Mitchell.
Yeah, one
God,
kid.
that man was.
Yeah,
He
one
was
kid.
Antonio Brown before Antonio Brown, and not as talented.
Yeah.
That's who Freddie
unfortunate.
Mitchell was. Jesus.
All right, let's get to the last game on the recap. The Sunday night game between the Cowboys and the Eagles. The Cowboys snatched their revenge, 33-13. Just picked apart Philly. June, which one of these teams, if you take off your Cowboys hat, which one of these teams is going to go further in
take that
the
hat off.
playoffs? And it was super glued on.
Honestly, and I'm being completely honest, a couple of weeks ago I would have had a different answer. But if I'm being honest right now, if you telling me what I saw at the beginning of December and what I saw the other night, one team looks like they want to play for something, and the other team look like they're just going through the motion. The Cowboys are poised to make a run. Because during the Garrett years, we would have lost that game on Sunday night. Tony Romo, maybe early Dak would have threw 3 or 4 interceptions. Okay? But this team came out focused. Yeah, we lost early. We always going to split with Philly. That's just one of those things. But they came out focused, and these last 4 games, they just got focused. They retooled. They did everything they had to do to make them come out and say, you know what? It's the beginning of December. If we're going to make a stand and we're going to say we're the best team in this division, it has to start tonight. And Philly just don't look interested in playing right now. The last 2 games, it's like they said, oh, well, we're playing against 2 good teams. Let's just get through these 2 games. And, hey, we got these teams that's coming up we may be able to beat. Let's see what we do. I'm telling you right now, they're going to run up against Seattle, and it's not going to go well for them. And the way the Giants are playing, and the Giants always get them at least one game. The way the Giants are playing, do not be surprised if they drop one of the games, split with the Giants. But there's something wrong with Philly, and I keep seeing people say Jalen Hurts is injured. If he's injured, why the hell is he playing? You gotta sit him if he's injured. You cannot let this man keep coming out here, because this is the RG3 thing. Your franchise quarterback can get hurt permanently. Look what happened to RG3. The man got hurt permanently. That was it. Career over. If this is your franchise quarterback, you have to make a decision right now. If he is injured, we have to be careful with our franchise quarterback, because he took off on that run. I said, oh, Jalen Hurts looks good. When he fumbled, I was like, oh, no. There's something going on with this dude. Oh, yeah. I take the Cowboys. They're the more focused team right now. They are the more focused team, and they're so I take the Cowboys in this.
Yeah, I'm going to go just real quick because I'm just going to echo what you're saying. I have to say the Cowboys because, like you said, one team looks like they're focused, they're locked in, and the other team looks like they're just kind of going through the motions. So, for sure, the Cowboys. And the Jalen Hurts injured thing, I just don't want to hear that because he appears to be just fine. Of course, what do I know? But like you said, if he's really that hurt, then don't play. It's like, simple as that.
Yeah.
The whole because they've been saying that for literally like a year since regular season last year. They're saying, he's got some nagging injuries. Like, well, he's been to a Super Bowl and has now played an another year of football. So is he really hurt? Because that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
Go ahead, Mahlon.
Yeah.
Well, Jalen, you're going to relate. This is what the Eagles look like to me. Trying to play the Patriots game. Except the Patriots won a bunch of damn Super Bowls. They just didn't go to one and lose. But year after year, the Patriots would show up week one uninterested. Mm-hmm. It's like you almost don't even know what the hell they did in OTAs and preseason. It would take them 4 to 5 weeks, figure the shit out, and then they would start like moving up, right? But they were disinterested because they were like, listen, we're going to win 11, 12 games. We're going to go to an AFC championship game. And that's when it's going to be real. And that's when, Tom Brady might kill your kid if you drop a pass. Oh, you got the Eagles now, right? They go to a Super Bowl. They lose in dramatic fashion. Everybody seems to think that Jalen Hurts is, the quarterback that was in the Super Bowl, even though history doesn't necessarily show that. I'll talk about that in just a second. But they just been going through the motions. They keep acting like they have a switch.
Right.
They can flip.
Right.
And why have you not flipped that switch? Because you just went through the toughest part of your schedule. Why you not flip that switch? That switch for the toughest part. Are you trying to lose a number 1 seed? Like, you got the Niners. You got Dallas. They got the same record as you now, but they both just steamrolled you. So they need to figure this shit out, especially on defense too. They've been giving up over 30 points, I think, 3 or 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
And so that defense ain't great. But let's go ahead and talk about Jalen Hurts for a second. Because I don't think he's him.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. You can tell me you think he is.
Right.
But talk to me about the numbers. Is a franchise quarterback 19 touchdowns and 10 interceptions this year? Like, for his career, he's a 63% passer, 63 touchdowns, 29 interceptions. He's damn near only 2-1 touchdown to interception. He's 4 off.
Right, yeah.
Being 2-1 touchdown to interception. Okay? Yes, he can run the ball right now. And yes, they got the tush push, which pads so many stats.
Yeah.
So many stats.
It's the ultimate perfume.
Let's calm down with how, they always want to add these tush push touchdowns into his records. And I was like, listen, I don't know that I want to count a touchdown where someone has to put their forearm up my ass to get me in the end zone. I don't know. I don't think I want that on the stat sheet. I'm just saying. But what has he done to be even a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? Would you guys think he's top 10 right now? If you look at the numbers.
No.
3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's not all pro. That's not top 10 in the NFL.
That's Daniel Jones numbers.
It's close to Daniel Jones numbers. You know who else has similar stats with a lot less games this year? You want to talk about Cold Cuts DeVito? Go ahead and look at his complete percentage, touchdown to interception ratio. It's damn near identical. He wasn't that guy in the regular season last year.
Right.
They were just uber talented. They won a lot of games, but he wasn't putting up MVP numbers. He wasn't averaging 300 yards a game. He didn't have 40 touchdowns last year. He was still throwing some picks, and he had that great game in the Super Bowl. He balled out, damn near 400 yards passing. I think he accounted for 4 touchdowns in that game. And everyone seems to snapshot. That's who he is. from the Super Bowl game. But his career
Right.
doesn't pan that out.
Mm-mm.
Like, so I don't know, but apparently, like, I can guarantee you, there's going to be people that are going to be on AFR. They're going to call me a racist because I just came at a black quarterback. That's fine. I'll say the same shit about Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen hasn't been elite for like 18 months.
Yeah.
He hasn't been, but we want to pretend like he's a top 10 quarterback. So I don't know. I'm just not sold on Jalen Hurts, man. You lost your starting job in a college championship game to Tua and had to go to Oklahoma. So
It's a new man went to Oklahoma.
he did good in Oklahoma, but he didn't.
I mean, he had all that talent around him in
I
Oklahoma
kind of
too.
feel like Jalen disagrees with me. I think Jalen thinks he's a franchise quarterback.
I do. I still think that. However, that's just my own personal bias. I really like Jalen Hurts, so that's just me. But
I think he's got a lot of talent.
I see what you're saying for sure, though. All right, let's move on to the next segment of the day, which is Mahlon's Misery in 5. This is the segment, folks, where Mahlon has 3 minutes to talk about what's pissing him off in the world of sports this week, and then we have 2 minutes to respond. So, Mahlon, take it away.
This is what's pissing me off right now, sports related people. How mediocre of level of play are we having? Like, fuck the word parody. How bad is the level of play in the NFL where Zach Wilson and Tommy Colcutt's DeVito win AFC and NFC Players of the Week? Now, Zach Wilson, I get it. He balled out for over 300 yards, right? That was really great of him. I love it. You concussed Stroud and you played the Texans without him. Anytime you hold Stroud to under 100 yards passing, you should win 30-6.
Mm-hmm,
Okay? I mean, like, are there like American Italians trying to blackmail Goodell right now? Is that why somebody that throws for 158 yards and 1 touchdown wins the NFC Player of the Week? Is that how that happens?
Oh God!
Like, I get it. Everybody's DeVito. He lives with his parents. His mother brought him to the game in an '89 Cadillac. It's beautiful. It's a great story. 158 yards and a touchdown. You're just gonna forget what Dak just did
Exactly.
in a game.
Go.
We're gonna forget what Purdy did against my Seahawks in the game, and I'm not even a Purdy fan. I think Purdy's a game manager. Like just give Purdy an Xbox controller at this point, and just let him get the hot route on every goddamn Madden route that's happening right now. But that's how bad the NFL is right now. Like Purdy is second in line to win the MVP.
Oh God!
Because he's got all these talented people around him. Like to me, I feel like we've seen more bad football being played this year than great football.
Right.
And that is, the refs have been really involved. Just the running back is non-existent. Like, every running back that got paid ain't doing shit. Out there counting their money and calling Deshaun Watson they're gonna roll the suit into. Like, quarterback play, man, is not been like, it's just, to me, it's been lackluster. There has not been amazing football being played. That kind of pisses me off a little bit. And they'll chuck it up to parody all they want, but it's just bad football this year.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't agree more. I'm wondering, has Dak got NFC Player of the Week just too many times? Like, let's not give it to him again, because I don't see why they would have, in the right mind, given.
That's not the. It shouldn't.
I mean, I agree. I'm just from their point of view.
That he lost to had better numbers than he.
Right.
I'm not even a quarterback fan.
I agree, but you posted.
I don't even think
graphic.
Russell Wilson hasn't gotten. Russell Wilson played better.
Well, you posted this graphic. I think it was Thursday of the quarterback matchups, and that sums it all up. Like Mitch Trubisky, Bailey Zappi, Joe Flacco, CJ Beathard, Gardner Minshew, Jake Browning.
How is Flacco still playing? And how does Joe Flacco beat Trevor Lawrence?
Jameis Winston. We're in a really strange time.
Like, it is just wild what is happening. I mean, the number one quarterback in the league in Bryce Young kind of acts like he didn't even play for Alabama. I don't even know what to say about Bryce Young. It's just ridiculous to me. The Vikings and the Raiders ended 3-0. Is this 1963? Is this 3 yards in a cloud of dust? Do we have actual
student body rights? Student body rights.
I know we got a lot of backups playing people, but is that really like the 63rd and 64th best quarterback in the world?
Right.
Playing for these people right now? Like Nick Mullins is about to get a start for the Vikings next week because rocket scientist Dobbs couldn't put up. He pulled an offer against the Raiders. Like, I can't even name the Raiders starting quarterback.
And don't let Detroit off the hook.
They back to the 90s. Oh, they are right back to the Scott Mitchell days. With more and no, the Lions. Fuck the Lions, man. They're doing the most lion shit. They run out of kneecaps. They've run out of. I mean, you got the Bengals and the Colts, two backup quarterbacks that last played each other in the 2018 Apple Cup, for God's sakes, Washington versus WSU, and they're starting against each other in an NFL football game.
I watched that game. It wasn't too bad. Out of all those other matchups, it was actually fairly good.
Baker Mayfield and Ritter.
That was.
What? How are the Buccaneers leading their division?
At 6-7.
No. This is our life in the NFL this year. It's just unfair. I feel like I'm getting screwed paying the money I am for NFL Sunday. I need to put a better product on the field.
Let's
got Trubisky and Zappi.
Jesus. Well, let's segue right into that because that's our first L of the week between the Steelers and the Patriots. I'll say this: I don't give a damn if we were going to lose to everybody else this year. We're not losing to Pittsburgh. Even though I picked against us in the Ride or Die in 5, that was just money.
It is.
The emotions, we're not losing to Pittsburgh.
It is happy time, baby.
It sure is.
19-28, 240, 3 touchdowns, and interception. I told you, Zappy. I've told you this for 2 years.
I was sitting there watching that game, and I was like, Pittsburgh is about to lose this game.
I couldn't do anything.
I don't know. Tomlin, has he lost his team?
I don't think he's lost them because he still has 4 weeks to still finish with a winning record, and that's all Tomlin's known for. Like, you want to know who Tomlin is right now? He's the new Ron Rivera, except he didn't have to beat cancer, and he's not even less of a minority as Native American Rivera. Like, Rivera deserved to have a job right now. But Tomlin is the head coach because he's tough, and he embodies Pittsburgh, and he doesn't have losing records. They haven't won a Super Bowl since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
He tripped up Jacoby Jones on the sideline since the last time they won a fucking Super Bowl. I mean, and Shaq should just stop buying jerseys because he bought that Najee Harris jersey in his rookie year, and he ruined his career. He really did.
Oh my God.
How was Mitchell Trubisky leading the team in rushing last week against the Patriots? You got Najee Harris. If I'm Najee Harris, I'm flying down to Tampa and beating the shit out of Forehead. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, you didn't learn your lesson with Juju before that, and everybody else. You just got to keep fucking around and finding out. And now I'm the one paying the price. But no, Zappy. And how the fuck does Mac Jones and Zappy look identical? How
They do look
they
how is
look
that
like
possible?
the same person?
They really do.
I don't know that we've ever seen the two of them in the same room together. I really don't know if we have. It might just be Mac Jones. He just needs to change his number to number 4 and just go ball.
You said the comparison of Tomlin and Rivera. I say Tomlin is starting to act like Jeff Fisher. That's who he's starting to remind me of.
Yeah.
Jeff
We're only
Fisher.
talking about 2 games. No, we're only talking about 2 games. Because Fisher was Mr. 7 and 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Tomlin's
saying.
Mr. 9 and 7, 9 and 8. Talking 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
God.
I don't
Man, he
know
just bought
what
up Fisher.
Pittsburgh fans
Shit.
are feeling about Tomlin right now, but I don't know. It just seems strange to always be content with just the. Okay, well, good, because it'd be very odd to just keep that complacency, but whatever. Next one, let's go to the Jets and the Texans. There was a Zach Wilson sighting, 30-6, out of just nowhere. It took, like Mahlon said, the Jets benching him and telling him forget about it for him to say, "Fuck y'all, watch this," and he just balled out. And Salah was still not impressed. He seemed very just unentertained by the whole thing.
Yeah, Salah's like, we're losing the draft position. But Zach Wilson was quoted as telling somebody in the locker room, he's like, what are they going to do, bench me again? I'm just going to go out there and sling it. He's literally the epitome of 0 fucks left to give. He's like, nobody else on the team has a hot mom that I could sleep with. Y'all want to bench me? Whatever. Like, he's the next Baker Mayfield, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
that's true. The thing I look at with this loss, I kept telling, and I said it on my TikTok, I told people, pump your brakes on CJ Stroud. You gotta be careful with going out there praising a rookie too much, especially with a top heavy AFC. And the Jets defense isn't bad. Yeah. And I told everybody he came across that team with a scheme to stop him. They did. Hell, they knocked him out the game, but
they did.
I need him to be good. He's been playing well, but he's been playing very well. But this is one of those things. It's that rookie wall. They all hit it. That's why I said if he got to week 15, 16, and they still was in it. But now, I think this is it for the Texans. I think, hey, you had a great season, but I think this is it. I think this is it. So,
is that a little bit of Cowboys versus Houston Texans going on there? Because I gotta be honest with you,
my little brother.
I have not heard a single black person say a bad thing about CJ Stroud, to be honest with you. And I got to be honest, the CJ Stroud, has he not been playing great ball for a rookie quarterback this year?
No, he has. And I said,
right, longer better than most. I mean, you're number 2 in passing yards. He hasn't been throwing a bunch of picks outside of a couple games. Like, he's been playing, and he's an Ohio State quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
All they do is suck in the pros. So when he started balling out, and I was like, damn, I can't make that Ohio State. I was like, damn, because he's actually out here doing it. But he is hitting that rookie wall. You were right.
Right.
He is hitting it. and whatever the Jets wall want to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He's my starting quarterback in the Shiver Family League, and he's concussed right now. So it's cool. But I'm bringing in Joe Burrow into the playoffs. Both leagues. About to win the chip with, or not Joe Burrow, Browning. About to bring in the chip. About to win the chip. Browning. Goddamn.
Next game, we've got the Saints and the Panthers, where the Saints won 28-6. I would be lying if I said I saw a single play from this game. So I will let you guys take this one.
Well, things. This is the type of game that makes me think that college football and the NFL should have relegation. Because it just bad football. Did you guys I forgot that Jimmy Graham was even a person, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I forgot, not only did I forget that he was still playing in the NFL, I forgot he was alive. I forgot he was ever born. He's out there catching touchdowns, talk about the greatest thing ever in the Caesars Superdome, which still sounds weird because to me it's still the Mercedes Superdome. But I forgot he was still even in the league. I forgot that Alvin Kamara was still in the league. Like, what the fuck is this, people? Is this 2015?
Yeah.
2016? Like, Michael Thomas is still on this goddamn roster? Like, how many people were we loaded up on fantasy teams 6 years ago are still playing for this goddamn team? Like, are they in a retirement home? Is this assisted living and they just get out on Sundays? Like, I don't know. But yeah, Carolina's terrible. I can't even believe the Saints are 6-7 in one game. Actually, they're tied in first place. The Bucks beat them once, but they got the same record, 6-7 right now.
They all got the same record except for Carolina.
You're probably going to have a 7-10 division winner out of the South.
Yeah.
And that's fitting. I mean, listen, you lose the Civil War, you're NFC South, you just keep losing. Someone call up General Lee, have him coach one of these fuckers. You get a couple more wins. God damn, this game was just hot garbage.
Yeah, it really was. I watched some of the game, and Derek Carr, they're going to be moving on from this dude at the end of the season. They're probably going to be moving on from Jameis Winston, too. The Saints are going to have to totally rebuild this team because this team is not good. This was supposed, and the sad part about it is I know a lot of people had this team dominating this division this year. And I was just I actually had Atlanta win this division at 9-8. I had Atlanta and I had both of them tying at 9-8 and Atlanta edging by points and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. This division is terrible. The Saints with Derek Carr. I mean, the guy, number one, I know he's playing injured, but they can't even risk putting Jameis Winston in because he's that bad. They're gonna just let Derek Carr stay out there.
He's too busy eating W's.
Oh my god! I mean, I guess crab. You ran out of crab legs or something.
Crab legs. Hey, I want to ask you guys this though: when was the last time a number one pick in the NFL went 13 of 36 for 137 yards?
Jesus.
Bryce Young, man, what are we doing?
DeMarcus Russell.
But he's not even.
Huh?
He doesn't have weight issues.
Yeah.
Of Russell, and he's not the head case of Ryan Leaf. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid?
I don't know, man.
God damn. 13 of 36 for 137 in an NFL game.
I'm honestly just giving
There are running backs that have had 13 carries for 137 yards in the NFL. This motherfucker can't. What are we doing?
The leader rusher was Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard.
And not to put up a
Forgot Adam
touchdown.
Thielen was still in the league too.
Yep.
How are all these motherfuckers still in the league, man?
I thought Adam Thielen was hurt, actually.
How are they still? Let's get them out. All these people that ain't done shit for 4 years, how are they still making? This isn't Major League Baseball. These ain't guaranteed contracts. You can cut these fuckers.
And the worst part about Carolina, they're going to have to rely on free agency because they don't have a first round draft pick this year.
Yeah.
So and
who has that pick? Is it Chicago?
Chicago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And why does Chicago have their pick?
I don't know.
Chicago do.
I don't know.
Was
They
it
traded
more?
for? No, it was more, but Carolina traded because remember Carolina traded CMC out to San Francisco. They picked up an extra pick. They packaged that pick to Chicago to get Bryce Young. Remember?
How do you lose
Man, you fucked that.
CMC and lose your first round draft pick 2 years later because of the ineptitude in the organization? How?
Yeah,
Like,
strange.
Matt Rule, man. All these college coaches keep fucking up the NFC South. They need to stop. Greg Schiano with the Bucks. You had Bobby Petrino with the Falcons. You got Matt Rule with Carolina, man. You just stop hiring college coaches. It fuck your franchise up. Just stop doing it. NFC South. Damn it. Kiss your sister and win some fucking football games.
Last but not least, I just threw this L in right before we started, but Draymond Green indefinitely suspended by the NBA after he threw a nice little half-closed, half-open punch at Nurkic, completely uncalled for.
That was a bitch slap haymaker. That's what we call that.
Right.
That is if you've ever seen an angry woman that has already thrown every frying pan she has, that's the way she's going to try to hit her man with that. Let me just come in there with a hook, but let it be open-handed because they don't really want to fight because they don't want to break a nail. Draymond Green just needs to be calm, man. I'm glad that he's suspended indefinitely while the NBA is like, what do we do with his old ass that ever was only able to play good defense? Can't do that anymore. So he just want to fight for everybody. I'm out and send his ass to the WWE. Like, what do we? He's not bad at. No, listen, WWE, man. Let's go out there with Ronda Rousey and all these other people. Let him fight the girls. They'll beat the shit out of him. Because at the end of the day, he's actually not that tough. He acts tough. He does fake tough shit. If this man was playing in the 80s and 90s in the NBA, Bill Laimbeer would have broken his fucking neck. Dennis Rodman would have whooped the shit out of him. Like, he does fake tough guy things. He acts tough.
Yeah. It's always like
really tough.
Catching
I
people
say
off
that
guard.
knowing that he's 6'8" and he can whoop my ass. Okay, I say that. I know that he can whoop my ass. But in the NBA, and all these other grown ass men, like, he's doing fake shit,
Right.
because he doesn't have the skill anymore to even play great defense.
Right.
And this team is 10 and 13. They're not going to the playoffs this year. If I'm Steph Curry, I'm like, get me out, man. I'm not as loyal as Dame Lillard, even though I've already won some chips with y'all. Get me someplace.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing.
Yeah. The funniest part about this was once that happened, if you just look at the Warriors bench, which is like right in front of where this happened, they were all just like, there was just no reaction. And it's just like
no one came to his defense.
Right. They're just
like really, man? You've been
on.
thrown out 3 times in 15 games.
Yeah.
You can't play on the court. Like, Steph isn't even hurt right now, right?
No, I think he's playing. Yeah.
Like, that's normally why he gets his ass thrown out. He's
Right.
like, I don't want to be out here.
Yeah.
If Steph ain't playing, because we ain't going to win if Steph ain't playing. So let me get my ass thrown out. Like, Steph's playing.
Yeah, it's getting
Came to his
just ridiculous. And
Steve
thank
Kerr
God.
looked like he needs a Deshaun Watson masseuse in a bad way. That man
Oh,
looked
goodness.
stressed out.
Yeah.
I'm so happy they indefinitely suspended him.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just like
Yes.
clearly the other
He needed it.
suspensions were not sending a strong enough message. Like, you just
Yeah.
let him sit for a while. When he comes back, is he going to act any differently? Probably not. But
Right.
for the safety of everybody else, just let him sit down because he's done everything in the book. Like, everything you possibly can do. That's how he's hurt other players.
He is right now a bigger clown than Ron Artest ever was.
Yeah.
And I say that I cannot bring myself to call someone Meta World Peace. I can't do it. I don't give a damn how you change it legally. Your name is Ron Artest, goddammit. And you beat the shit out of the wrong fan in the Mouse in the Palace. But Draymond Green is acting more of a fool than even Ron Artest did.
Yeah, it's becoming. I think the Warriors at the end of this season needs to move on from Draymond. I thought they were going to do it this year, but I think next year. I think this is the time you can say, you know what, Draymond, maybe you need a change of scenery, buddy. Maybe you need to go somewhere. Maybe he need to go see Popovich. You know, maybe he need to go see a guy like Popovich. You know, maybe you need to go down to Miami with Eric. You know, Spoelstra. And
God.
I just don't see him. I just don't see him staying in Golden State after this. And the simple fact of the matter is that they need to keep him suspended and don't let him come back before the All-Star break. I don't want to see this guy before the All-Star break. Let him sit it out. Let him sit it out.
Yeah. Wait, you did bring in an interesting point, though. Like, is this a Steve Kerr issue? Like, do we really think Popovich and Spoelstra and some of these people will be putting up with this nonsense?
Hell no.
No, they wouldn't. No.
Like, I feel like Steve Kerr, as much as I love him, and I was so close to meeting him in Vegas in July during the summer games. I was so goddamn close. I feel, and I know he's a Seahawks fan, too. All I know is a Seahawks fan because he was wearing a Seahawks shirt when he won the first Larry O'Brien trophy. There's a picture of him on the team plane wearing the Larry O'Brien, and on the inside of his track jacket, he had a Seahawks shirt on. So I know he's a fan of either Pete Carroll or the Seahawks. So I love the guy. And not many white people get shined in the NBA, so give me a couple seconds here. But no, he just seems like he's lost the locker room a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the moment that Peyton shit happened last year, it was like,
Right.
was it Peyton or Poole? It was Poole, right?
Well,
It was
two
Poole.
people he hurt.
Yeah.
Peyton
Yeah,
broke his
you
elbow.
let him
And
just
Pooley knocked him
Back
out.
the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
That's the most annoying part with me is that the coaching staff, Steve Kerr, is always just like, oh, it's just Draymond being Draymond. Oh, it's just always this like dismissive. It's like, he knocked out your own player. He broke Peyton's elbow in the playoffs. Puts Gobert in a chokehold. Like, it's always something, and it's always the same response. It's just
It's
Draymond.
ridiculous.
Open hand bitch slapping people. Now, okay, now who was it that he hit? What was that guy's name?
Nurkic.
Okay, first of all, Nurkic. I mean, I know you're white, but you didn't have to stay on the floor for that long. It wasn't that bad.
It really hurt.
You acted like you cut half your face off. Like, come on, man. Like, goddamn, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for white people. I was like, get off the fucking floor, man.
I'm glad he did, though, because that guy was suspended indefinitely. If he would have popped back up, 2 games.
They would have done
He didn't have to. He stayed on the floor the entire time they reviewed the
I would have too.
Amen.
I would have too. I would have laid
Amen.
down. I would have laid down.
Like, goddamn, I was embarrassed. I was like, son of a bitch. Get up, man. You're embarrassing white people.
Let's go to a break. When we come back, we've still got community comments And the ride or die in 5. Yeesh, last week was not looking too great for us.
That's not good. That was rough.
I blame Kadarius Toney. All right.
Bitch.
let's go to a break. We're back in 10 minutes. We pick up G Money, so we will be back.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. On my way to the boat, like I ain't just had on the coat when I landed, outbranded. Perched at the edge of the branches. They don't wanna talk mansions, mine look like a campus. And I'm all about my brothers like the niggas I'm sampling. I'll leave you red shirted like the twins from Kansas. Really living my dreams I used to have in my aunt's crib.
This is the first time the Heat have made the finals since LeBron left.
Jesus Christ.
True.
What the fuck?
Nobody wants to guess.
Is it Kyle Lowry?
If Kyle Lowry's number
Do I get the point?
Yeah, I'll give you the point.
I guess two of them. Do I not get points for that shit too? Can I just make a complaint?
How many times have these two teams played each other in the regular season?
Once.
Is incorrect.
No.
Three.
Twice.
You already guessed. Shut up.
Shaq, what was your guess? 3. That is incorrect.
Twice.
2.
G Money, any guesses?
I already said it.
We don't know if that's correct.
Well, I mean,
It is correct.
G Money, try 5.
Why this man had the most amount of points to complain about?
How is it taking that fucking long?
You missed their first question because you answered too fast. Not thinking.
He's stupid.
that's pretty
First
hurtful.
of all, this is the last time we're ever doing trivia. I don't give a damn what happens.
Hey. Yeah. Trendsetter, band frame getter. With whatever. I buy diamonds when I'm under pressure. When I apply, shit don't ever let up. Yeah. Look, I'm in the cut, the boy in the cut. Jump in the whip with a ceiling go up, we up. All of this grinding for what? It's funny when you niggas thought it was luck.
So who is that? All right, these Lance Spider Mitchell. You gotta put on the top. Oh, dang. That's somebody good. Ooh, Steph Curry. Okay. Ooh, that feels bad. There's Darren Fox. Thank you.
Damn. Is that gonna fall the moment he gets it out?
Oh my god.
How am I supposed to even turn this now?
By the way, the person who knocks it over, your lineup doesn't even count.
We took Zion. Listen, that's the best I can do, dude.
FBI. Jared Allen, you're coming home with me, friend.
Stack it.
Mr. IG Live himself.
Oh, the shooter. Oh, Jesus. That was hard in the Bulls' fault to get Zach LaVine.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
If Miami can maintain their momentum and find a way to beat the Bucks in this series, you will be seeing us in the final. There's no question, ifs, ands, or buts about it, so be prepared to see us.
And the Miami Heat become the 6th in NBA history to win as an 8th seed in the first round.
Game wants his ring, and he's gonna get it. And he's like, "Fuck him." He's got to play lights out. He's gonna come out there and play lights out. Butler's gonna put the whole load on his shoulders, and I say he wins game 1. Great momentum. That's how you start a series.
All 3 of the previous series, they were the underdog. All 3 of those series, they won game 1. Denver's 9-0 at home in the playoffs. They take game 1. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets win their 4th straight road game in these playoffs and regain home court advantage. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Denver Nuggets are 1 win away from their first ever NBA title. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Murray falling away. Rebound, Brown bangs it home. Bruce Brown puts the Nuggets back up by 1. Jimmy Butler on the drive, gets inside, stops. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. And a foul. 2 clutch free throws from Contavious Caldwell Pope. It's over. At last, the long wait is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
Yeah. Still waiting, wanting got to keep me on chill. Don't you miss me? I'll kick it with my new bitch. I still.
In my white tee, yeah, call up Mike Williams for the hype, please. They gon' wipe you before you wipe me. My boxes of checks, not my Nikes. Cactus, not no iced tea. Got them bamboozled like I'm Spike Lee. You need more than Google just to find me. I just call a beta, get a high fee.
Incredible, general.
I just got the label just to sign me. Me and Chase connected like we signed me.
All right, boys, some last minute prize picks for tonight's Monday night game. We've got these 3 players. Travis Etienne, he's going to score. He is one of the Jags' best weapons on offense. He'll find the back of the end zone, taking Travis Etienne to score a touchdown. Joe Mixon with Browning being the very inexperienced quarterback that the Bengals have. They're probably going to be handing off the ball a lot tonight, so I'm thinking Mixon's going to have more than 48.5 rush yards. And last but not least, Josh Allen to have a sack tonight. He's had a sack in at least all 5 of the last games they've played, probably even more than that. But again, with Browning, an experienced quarterback back there, I think that he gets to Browning a few times, and Josh Allen has another sack tonight. So these are my prize picks for tonight. Let me know if you're putting money on this same exact slate, or if you've got your own. Let me know what it is in the comments below.
Going and filming other teams that they did not want to see in the college football playoff, and then giving that information to opposing teams in hopes that that team might lose. That happened last year with Tennessee versus South Carolina. South Carolina was a dog shit team last year. Tennessee was undefeated. All of a sudden, Tennessee plays South Carolina. They lose 63-28, I think it was, after losing their starting quarterback. But starting quarterback for South Carolina all of a sudden completed over 80% of his passes, 400 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's crazy. It's also kind of wild that the entire South Carolina defense was wearing playbook pads on their arms, but there was a Michigan staffer that was on the sideline wearing Central Michigan sideline gear, walking up, rubbing shoulders with all of the coaches, and he's a Michigan staffer. This goes so far beyond just the normal thing. Describe your favorite team in 3 words. Mine, being a Seattle Seahawks fan, is what the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? How did we get blown out by the Rams? Then beat the Lions. Week 2. How are you going to beat the Browns and then lose the way you did to the Niners, who lost to the Browns? Now we got the Cowboys, the Niners again, the Eagles. What are we doing? Are we making the playoffs? Does Pete Carroll have to retire? Are we going to throw DK Metcalf the ball more than 3 motherfucking times? What are we doing, people? But at the end, you tell us,
How do you describe
Remember to
your
follow
team
the show on TikTok
in
and
3
Instagram
words?
at FS
Let us have it.
Sports. Now
Catch you
back
later.
to your favorite show on the internet with your hosts, Jaylon, Mahlon, Nestor, and G Money.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the second half of your favorite show on the internet. G Money, what's going on?
There he is.
What can we say in sports? Everything's going on in sports, right? Ohtani signs a $700 million contract. Draymond Green gets suspended indefinitely. The NFL looks like shit. And there's only a few teams, when you look at it, are really good teams. The rest are just kind of faking it.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Ohtani. God damn. The man signs a $700 million contract to get $680 million of it deferred for 10 years.
Talk about generational wealth.
That's funny.
Let's
Bobby Bonilla is about to get pulled off the front page for what he makes on July 4th every year once Ohtani retires. $68 million. Stupid.
Right. Let's go with the community comments this week.
Wait a minute. We got...
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I forgot to pour one.
You didn't even pour your shot, did you? Oh, shit.
It's coming.
G-Money, what you got?
I've got Wild Turkey Rare Breed Barrel Proof.
Ooh, nice.
I just got normal Wild Turkey.
Yeah, I see you put up a cup there. Did you get yourself something there?
I got some beer. I just got some beer.
There you go. Okay.
He said, to hell with that cleanse.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it. The stuff tastes nasty.
Listen, I did about a Florida Avenue Interlude double IPA. This thing is amazing.
What is it? What's the alcohol volume on it?
8.3.
Okay.
Yep, 8.3. Anytime you do a double IPA, you don't get anywhere north of 7.8. That's not a double IPA.
It's not a double IPA.
That's water. Oh no, this is the locally brewed. They brew it right down the street from me.
Okay.
And,
all right. Nice.
Good stuff.
Florida Ave IPA. I'm writing that one down. I had a Sam Adams, or I still have a little bit of it, Sam Adams Winter Ale. Which,
I bought some of that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, this is my last one, so I'm enjoying it.
You know, Sam Adams also came out with a hazy IPA that is actually kind of impressive.
Okay.
I just want to let you guys know that it's like a hazy IPA that's like nationally manufactured, whatever. But it tastes pretty good. It's pretty good. They're getting in there.
Yeah.
Anything Sam Adams comes out with, I gotta buy it at least once because I love America. Even though he didn't even drink beer. You know, Samuel Adams, you want to know what his favorite drink was? It was a hard cider.
Yes.
That was his favorite drink. What a bitch. Let's move on.
And when you go up to Boston, they have different flavors up there that you can't get only in Boston.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beer segment for people at home. Let's go to the community comments.
Sports and brews, man. What do you want from us?
Right.
You can't beat it.
So there's really not many to get to this week, but the Chiefs thing with the refs on TikTok. First of all, Nestor, of course, says the audacity of the Chiefs.
Yeah, you should be talking about the audacity of Buffalo, or not Buffalo, but Miami. Tennessee. That should be the audacity.
That was because he was like 3 hours away from witnessing that audacity, so he spoke too soon. Moving on to somebody else. Adam says the refs were paid off. Okay, tell us you're from Kansas City without saying it. Troy, he says it's funny. Nini says he was basically on the defense side.
Exactly.
Facts.
Him and Von Miller were basically making out, man.
And then last but not least, Iron Worker says Mahomes hasn't played good all year either. None of them seem to want to really win this year.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. You said Mahomes hasn't played good all year, right?
That's what he said.
And what's his name?
Iron Worker.
Okay, so let's go ahead and fact check him. Okay. It is definitely not Mahomesian level. The completion percentage is 66.9. He's thrown for 3,398 yards, but only 23 touchdowns in 11 interceptions. Oh, there's 4 games left, right, gentlemen?
Yeah.
What do you think the over-under is on whether or not Mahomes even reaches 30 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, I'll probably take the under on that one.
Taking the under.
Yeah, he reaches 30. Nah,
they can't catch a cold or the flu.
Nah.
I don't know. Like, well, okay, so we talked about all this, offside stuff and everything in the first half, but we didn't get G Money's take on that.
Right.
So, G Money, well, what do you think about what happened in that Chiefs game before we move on to the ride or die?
You don't lose a game on one penalty, and you should have won that game.
Yep.
And it's been the whole season where his wide receivers can't catch the ball. I mean, they wide open against Philadelphia, dropped the ball. I get when you make a decision that you're going to pay your quarterback and you can't pay your leading wide receiver, and you end up trading him. I get that, okay, because there's only so much money to go around, and you're basically not paying a lot of people on your defense, 2 years ago. So now you're pretty much either picking up leftover wide receivers, or you're drafting and hoping that the kid you drafted in the 4th or 5th round can produce. And unfortunately, they're not. And it's not like they're not open. It's not like Mahomes isn't putting the ball in there for them to catch. So I just don't think those wide receivers are getting it. I don't think that that they understand that, sometimes you come back to the ball, but you catch the ball when it's thrown to you. I mean, we see receivers every week making crazy catches. And we're like, whoa. And then we see clips of the Chiefs receivers dropping balls that any of us could catch at our age. If I'm wide open, I'm catching that ball. Now, I'm immediately falling to the ground and staying there, but I'm catching the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's that call. Was it that call? Yeah. I mean, if you compare it to another call that wasn't made, okay, yeah, but never put the game in the hands of the refs.
Right.
You hear that over and over again, and this is why. You put it in the hands of the refs, and you're rolling the dice. Because depending on what they see or what they don't see, it's a penalty or it's not a penalty. And someone's going to be pissed off about it. And in this case, it was the Chiefs. But how many times did we hear Philly fans after the Super Bowl say that the refs were bought off? There were a lot of no calls. And the calls went in favor of the Chiefs. I mean, it's...
Now,
it is what it is.
I do have one question for Jalen before we move on. And it's early. It's only 11 o'clock, so I can ask this question. So, I see similarities between the Chiefs and the Patriots in like the dynasty arc, right? Like, there's been a lot of talk about how like Chiefs moves in phase 2. What is it about these great head coaches with generational quarterbacks they can't draft wide receivers, Jalen? Like, how many more Super Bowls could the Patriots have won, Jalen? Bill Belichick could just draft a fucking wide receiver just one time. Hit on one wide receiver. Like, you had the draft a starting quarterback, Julian Edelman, to be your slot receiver to help you win your last 3 Super Bowls. And you had to pick up Randy Moss from the Chiefs. And outside of that, you had, there was even a defensive back, Troy Brown, one of the better wide receivers on the team the first time they won the Super Bowl the last 3 times. And now you have the Chiefs too, right? It's not like the Patriots didn't draft wide receivers. Right. It's not like the Chiefs aren't drafting wide receivers. There's so many good wide receivers out there.
Right.
How can these people not hit on any of them? Like, how many Super Bowls do you think Tom Brady could have won if they hit on one wide receiver?
Yeah, you have to think it buys you at least one more, if not 2. But it is strange because, like, Andy Reid, like, the only one they splashed on was Tyreek. And besides that...
wasn't he like a 3rd rounder?
Right, like, he wasn't...
He was 2nd round, like, he wasn't... I think there was, like, 10 wide receivers drafted ahead of him.
Right. And then if you go back with... I know it's still not Dynasty, but Andy Reid and T.O., he wasn't, he didn't draft him. They got him free agent or trade for him, but...
Eddie Mitchell. Jesus.
Yeah. So I don't know why that is.
The Patriots, man, they've missed on more first-round wide receivers, I think, of any other team in the last 15 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Can't draft a wide receiver.
Meanwhile, the Seahawks can indeed draft wide receivers.
If
you look at from the time we had, Russell Wilson, or the wide receivers we drafted, they fit what we needed to do and what Russell Wilson could do.
Right.
Yeah, DK needs to stop being a bitch, though. He's too young to be the next Draymond Green in the NFL.
I'm not too worried about that. That was the end of the game.
I know, but he still...
And that was on an interception. Plus, the linebacker hit him, in the back.
And did you guys know that Shanahan put a bounty on him?
That doesn't surprise me any.
What? No, he put a bounty on DK not to hit him, not to hurt him, but to get him to lose his cool.
Wow.
And Shanahan promised something monetary to whoever got him to lose his cool during the game. There's audio in a team meeting where he did it. Basically told his team, listen, we're going to get under his skin. He's right for it. Whoever gets him to lose his cool, like, I forget what it was he said that they would get, but he promised something of some sort of monetary gain, not money, but something else, for the first person to make him lose his cool. And Fred Warner did, and I will say this about Metcalf. Like, Metcalf does say, he was like, listen, defenders are totally fine with suplexing my ass and doing all this stuff. And so I tackled Fred Warner because I thought he had the ball, and he comes and hits me in the back of the head and shoves my face into the ground. And so he got mad about it. But you still can't lose your cool like that.
Well, you understand DK had a neck injury in college, and there's a possibility that you get another neck injury and you ain't playing anymore.
He did break his neck in college, that is true. So that was interesting. Okay, I'm sorry, Jalen. It's lit.
Oh no, you're good because there wasn't a lot of comments to get to anyway. So let's hop into the ride or die in 5. Which for folks that are new to the show, this is where we give you the 5 best betting picks in the NFL this week. Folks, can you blame us? Have you seen this season? If you're listening to the show, come on, folks. So our records as of right now, all of us went 1-4 last week except Nestor. He went 2-3. So there's that.
What a bitch.
By the way, he did give me his picks ahead of time, so don't worry, America. Okay. We got it.
We'll go 0-5.
We got Nestor's picks.
He's hurting.
You can sleep at night. All right, so Mahlon is 213 and 155. He is plus 58. I am 227 and 184, plus 43. Nestor is 111 and 90. He's plus 21. And G Money is 132 and 117. He's plus 15.
Now we're putting
June
we're adding something else to the ranks here with some picks.
Right. So we'll see how June fares in this haunted segment that it's been this entire year. So we're gonna.
I do feel at this point though we have to put a minimum of bets on there before you get the number 1 spot, just to protect myself a little bit. Because if he only picks one time,
that's
gonna piss me off. I've been at this for a while. I've bet a lot of fucking games here, almost 400 of them. And I'm still plus 58.
Yeah, so let's start off on this one of the Saturday games at 1:00. We've got the Vikings and the Bengals, where the Bengals are favored by 3.5 points. We'll start off. June, you can go first. What do you like here?
I'm gonna go ahead and take. I'm gonna take Minnesota. I think Browning is going to. I think this is going to be the week Browning shows that he's just a backup. I know he's at home, but I like Minnesota in this game. Yeah, I'm going to say they're going to cover the 3.5 definitely.
All right, G Money.
I like Cincinnati. I think if T. Higgins is healthy and playing, I'm not sure about if Chase is going to be playing or not. But if T. Higgins and Ty Boyd are playing, Jake's a backup. But freaking Minnesota's starting about their 3rd string. Mullins.
Mullins can't even win under Kyle Shanahan, for God's sake.
I just in the play at Cincinnati, I just don't see it. I see Cincinnati covering the 3.5.
Go ahead, Mahlon.
Okay. First of all, I think that Junebug has a little bit of vendetta against Browning because Browning is the University of Washington Husky quarterback, and his Texas Longhorns lost last year in the Alamo Dome, and they're going to lose in the Sugar Bowl this year. And he knows that Browning was a Husky quarterback, so I felt like he was being a little hurtful, a little disrespectful, because listen, this is some of the numbers that Browning has put up since he took over for Burrow. 73% completion percentage. 86.5 completion percentage. 75 completion percentage. Thrown 227, 354, 275. The man has 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but he's also run for 2 touchdowns. He has been so efficient with Cincy. Okay. When you look at the spread, like against the spread, like Minnesota 7-2, Cincy 6-6-1, you really got to look at the quarterbacks. And like I said, Nick Mullins can't even win when Kyle Shanahan is his head coach.
Yep.
And there's going to be a lot of fantasy players they're going to get burnt in the playoffs this week because they're going to start Justin Jefferson with that chest injury, and he's probably not even going to finish the game. And so there's going to be a lot of angry fantasy football owners also. I wish to God my guy was starting Justin Jefferson this week. Well, I'm going Cincy on this because your wide receiver core heavily to the Bengals because Justin Jefferson is still hurt and they don't got the Higgins and the Boyds like Cincy does. Joe Mixon is a better back than whatever Minnesota's going to put out there, and you're going Burrow versus Mullins, and you've seen what Burrow has been able to do. Burrow's about to make himself a lot of money over the next 7 years. It's a really good backup quarterback. He's about to hit a fucking payday. And I'm proud of him. I'm happy that he stuck it out. So I'm going Cincy. They're both 7-6 right now, but I think that Cincy has a chance to still make the playoffs. And did anybody think that Cincy would have a shot of making the playoffs when Joe Burrow went down for the rest of the year? Nobody?
No.
Hell no. This man's been playing good ball to put him in that position. So I'm taking Cincy.
Yeah, myself and Nestor were both on the Bengals to cover the points. Browning has been playing really, really well in Joe Shiesty's absence here because, like you said, Mahlon, nobody thought that he was going to do anything. And he looked really good against Indy. He hung in there in overtime against Jacksonville. So, yeah, I think they can cover this at home. Again, the Vikings quarterback situation is just disaster. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with Cincinnati to cover at home. So, there's that. Let's go to the night Saturday game. It's kind of crazy that we're already at that point in the year that we have Saturday games because that's how you know that the year is coming to a close. So, Tampa Bay against the Packers. The Packers are at home, and they are 3.5-point favorites. G Money, what do you like here?
Not a goddamn thing. I look at this, and if I was in the sports book, I'd just walk away from it. I'd look and see what the over-under was and probably bet on the under. But since we're doing point spread, I'll go with Green Bay minus a 3.5. I don't know. I mean, I don't like either team. I just don't like how they play. I know Baker Mayfield's making the best that he can. He's trying to earn the starting spot as their quarterback for next year. And really, Jordan Love, this is actually his rookie year. People say you should sit your quarterback that you draft for 2 or 3 years. I don't think that makes any. I don't think you should do that. I think they should play more. But Aaron Rodgers was balling out there for a while in Green Bay after he was drafted and decided to rack up a couple MVPs, so he didn't get to play any. And Green Bay, sort of like Kansas City, doesn't draft wide receivers. But I'm gonna go with Green Bay. They're at home. We'll see how Tampa does on the road in the cold.
Go ahead, Mahlon.
This is again like G Money said. This is just a bad matchup. You got to think that the NFL would love to flex this game,
right?
If they could. I love the fact that wife was really excited about this weekend because she was like, there's no more college football, even Army Navy's gone, and then I was like, this is when the NFL starts playing Saturday games, so sorry about your luck, we're just not going to be able to do anything. And she's even a Bucks fan. And she's like, I want to go see Santa Claus. Like, she don't even want to watch this game. It's hilarious. So, yes, the Buccaneers, right? They have won their last couple games, right? But when you look at Baker Mayfield's numbers, his last 2 games, identical, 14 completions off of 29 attempts. Not even completing 50% of his passes. 144 yards and 202 yards. Hell, the game before that, when he completed 66.7, he only completed 199 yards. The man is the epitome of mediocre quarterback play. And how in the hell does Mike Evans only get 1 catch last week against Atlanta? Anybody know the name of the shutdown corner that Atlanta has? I don't, because they don't have one. But the man had 1 fucking catch. Got me 1.8 points in fantasy football. I had no reason losing to KU Ku Klux Klan Colts by 2 points because Mike Evans' ass only got 1.8 points last week. Literally, yes, he averages less than 6 yards a pass attempt.
Yeah. That's atrocious.
With Evans and Godwin. I honestly don't understand how they're. The only reason why they're winning games is because the ineptitude of the other team. They played Atlanta. We all know what the hell is the head coach name of Atlanta right now? What is his name?
Smith. Anteater Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. Yeah. Okay. You can go ahead and die. You're terrible. I don't even think your wife likes you. Your kids are probably cussing you out every time you come home because they're embarrassed for you. Like, they go to school and get picked on because you're their dad. Like, that's bad. And then you beat Carolina 21-18. You could only beat Carolina 21-18. Like, we just went over the fact that Bryce Young, the last game, was 13-36 for 137 yards. You beat him 21-18. Like, this whole division is like, who can be the worst yet win the most, but still win the least and make the playoffs? It's fucking ridiculous. So I hate it. I don't like any of it, but I do think the fact that Jordan Love is the better quarterback in this game right now.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that the Packers have fucked themselves because they either got to franchise him or pay him.
Right.
Only got 1 year under his belt as a starter because Aaron Rodgers decided to take that personally and won a couple MVPs. And so he fucked them really hard on the decision they have to make with Jordan Love. They're like, goddamn, like what do you do as a Packers fan? But I'm taking Green Bay in this game. I think Tampa only had back in the day, June and G Money. You'll remember this. The NFC Central. You guys remember that division?
The Bay of Pigs.
Yes. Back in the NFC Central, over a 20-year span, the Tampa Bay Bucks only won twice in Green Bay. They were in the same division with each other.
Yep.
Like, Green Bay beat the shit out of them all the time, even with Magic Man Wazowski. Okay? So I'm taking Green Bay on this. Fuck the Bucks. All these Champa dumbasses. They can kiss my ass.
Nestor is also taking Green Bay to cover. Just double check that. Yes. I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna take Tampa and the points on the road in Green Bay. They've been playing a lot of people pretty tight against the teams that they should. You know, like San Francisco, they got kind of blown out. the Colts beat them by a touchdown, so there's that. But like, the Panthers, they played them close. The Texans, they played them close. The Bills, they even played them close. Of course, the Falcons. So I think this will be a close game. Who wins? I don't know, but either way, I think it'll be close
right now.
What's that?
The teams that you're naming right now, Jalen.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Almost as good. You know, these teams are almost as good. Well, there's a couple of good games here.
Right, this is a few.
Yeah, Pittsburgh New England game. That was a great game.
Terrible.
And they beat Tennessee. That beat the Dolphins. Sure, whatever. But I mean, Minshew beat you in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that. I mean, I don't know if somebody in your complex is threatening you, and you're forced to take the Bucks. Just, it's hurtful.
I'm just gonna stick with them for sure. So,
you're terrible.
June, what would you like?
I'm gonna take. I'll take Green Bay in this game. It does remind me of the old Bay of Pigs back in the day, and Tampa Bay cannot go up there and win this time of year. If it was early in the season, I would say, yeah, give me Tampa, but I don't even think it's going to be a close game. I think Green Bay is going to beat them and beat them handily.
Well, let's move on to the next game. Sunday at 1:00. We've got the Texans going to the Titans. Titans are 2.5-point favorites. Mahlon, what do you like here?
Couple things. First of all, I think you're an asshole for picking this game. Someone had to make this game relevant. And listen, I know this is the Ride or Die in 5, but if you're listening to this show, you know, on Spotify or YouTube, that's a great plug for us because I know a lot of people listen to us after the fact. And you're betting money on this game. What else is happening in your life? Like, who hurt you? Who left you? Who beat you as a child? Where you're like, you know what? I need to win some money to pay some rent on Houston, Tennessee. That is just bottom of the barrel right here. Now, Houston and Tennessee, both 6-7 against the spread this year. You don't really get anything off of that. What really concerns me is Stroud. Mm-hmm. And is he going to play? Because Houston has no business losing this game if Stroud's healthy. Because Tennessee don't got no defense. They got bottom 3 worst uniforms in the league. Derrick Henry has not been doing shit most of the year like everybody else that got paid. But it's a CJ Stroud thing that, like, how much milk is Will Levis going to drink this week to end up pulling out a W? Like, it makes me nervous. So on this one, in this game, just because, I mean, I think this is the type of game you watch when, like, you fart and you kind of wonder, was that a fart or did I shit my pants? Like, that is what the game is going to equal out to. But I'm going to go ahead and trust Vegas on this because I don't have any faith in anything else. And I'm going to go ahead and take Tennessee and the -2.5 because they seem to know something.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to take Tennessee at home. Houston's cooling down a bit. Tennessee's coming off that big win on Monday. They're heating up. So, yeah, I'm going with Tennessee to cover the points at home. Nestor's on the same. So, so far, we're all on Tennessee. June.
Yeah, give me Tennessee in this matchup. CJ Stroud, if he doesn't play, I like Tennessee to cover the 2.5, and they're going to be at home. I don't know how much CJ Stroud is how healthy is going to be coming into this game, and they got a couple other. I was just looking at it, and it seems like Texans got a couple of other major injuries on this team right now. So, yeah, I'm definitely taking Tennessee to cover that 2.5.
G Money.
Yeah, with CJ Stroud still not cleared the concussion protocol yet, and he's got what, tomorrow and Friday?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I were in Vegas in a sports book, I'd be waiting until Sunday to make a bet, because I would want to know if it was going to be Stroud starting a quarterback or Mills. Since we don't know that, I'm going to base it on him not starting, not clearing protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, their rookie DN is probably going to be out. If he plays, he's going to be playing at like 60%. So, yeah, give me Tennessee minus the 2.5.
Now, can I ask you guys a fantasy question real quick? Because in my Shiver Family League, okay, I've won 3 years in a row. Going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud been my starting quarterback for most of the year.
Okay.
Okay, this game is Sunday, 1 p.m. I picked up Browning because he's got me a few wins in our league, but he plays Saturday. So it's one of those things. Would you guys go ahead and pull the trigger and start Browning, or wait to see what happens to CJ Stroud? Because the only quarterback that I can pick up in that league that could be remotely worth their salt would be Howell from Washington, and I'd much rather shit on his grave than start him in a playoff game. So I kind of feel like I need to go ahead and throw Browning in the starting role.
Yeah.
Put Browning in.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I need to do.
Right. I think that's a safer option.
I hate this Sunday shit though, man. You don't,
right?
Especially with a concussion, you don't. So, all right, I think I'm going to go ahead and put Browning in.
Roll with the hot hand and safer hand in this scenario too.
Yeah.
All right. Sunday at 4:30, we've got the Cowboys going to Buffalo. The Bills are favored 2.5 points. I am taking the Cowboys and the points on the road. This was an easy one for me. I really had to read this a couple of times. I thought it was supposed to be the other way around, but the Bills are favored at home, still by the 2.5 points. Yeah, they're getting less than the customary 3, so I'm definitely rolling with the Cowboys on the road. Cowboys are on a mission right now. They're really feeling themselves. They're playing really good ball. The Bills are playing better than kind of what we've been giving them credit for, but I don't know. I feel like the Cowboys are legit. This is one of those games where they continue to show that they are really about championship contending this year. So give me the Cowboys on the road. Nestor is taking the Bills to cover. So there is that.
Wow.
June.
Wow. Yeah, I think the 2.5 is coming because I guess the weather report shows a little bit of rain. It's going to be cold, so that's why they're giving the Bills the 2.5 at home. But I'm taking the Cowboys in this game. The Cowboys just so deep, and the defense is playing out of its mind right now. And we all know that Josh Allen has a propensity to turn the ball over, so the Cowboys live off the turnover. So. Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys to cover that 2.5 on the road.
G Money.
Yeah, Dallas is 2-2 on the road. Buffalo's 5-2 at home. But Dallas has been playing well. And even though I think that Stephon Diggs will have a big game, I could see him going for like 140, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, aka DK. I still see the Cowboys pulling it out and winning in the end. Unless you get like a blizzard and it's a running game and everything, nobody can throw the ball. But that's not what the forecast is. So, I think Dallas has a whole lot more to prove. I mean, the fact that everybody's still saying you can't beat good teams, and I'm not saying Buffalo's a good team, but it's got that aurora of being a good team. It's still spoken of as a Super Bowl team, and Dallas hasn't been spoken like that. It's like, oh yeah, Dallas can get to the playoffs, but they can't win. Or Dallas can play great at home, but they can't win on the road. And they can't win on the road against good teams. They win on the road, and Buffalo really isn't a good team, but they win. Give me Dallas. Give me the 2.5.
And Mahlon.
Yeah, this was interesting for me because, like you said, it's 2.5 points, right?
Yeah.
And historically this year, home team hasn't been getting net 3 points. It's actually been 1.5. So the fact that Buffalo was getting 2.5 points, because then immediately I went and I looked at the weather, and like G Money said, it's not supposed to be a torrential, snowstorm or anything like that. And even if it got into a running back matchup, I know Pollard hasn't been great, but is anyone going to take James Cook over Tony Pollard? Like, both teams are going to throw the ball regardless of the weather. Right?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that Dallas is 9-4 against the spread this year, and Buffalo is 5-7-1. And when you look at Dak Prescott, who I think he is and he should be the MVP favorite, he hasn't thrown an interception since November 12th. But he's thrown, I think, for 14 touchdowns since November 12th. He's been on a roll. And you're looking at two teams. I know that Buffalo fighting for a wild card, but they still got some games to win against some easy opponents at the back end of their schedule. Dallas right now, I think, is going to be coming in there, June, with not so much a moxie or a confidence that would normally cause them to lose games in December, like feeling themselves too much. I think they're going to keep going in there with a chip on their shoulder because not a lot of people are still believing in this team.
Right.
Until they do something to play. So, well, we've seen this before the last couple of years, and you still got San Francisco, you still got Philly, even though you beat Philly, but you lost to them, a few weeks ago. I think that Dallas is going to come in there with a chip on their shoulder, and I think that Dallas is going to be the tougher team.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm taking Dallas in this game because I think that Dak has played a much cleaner version of football, MVP caliber of football, and yes, Josh Allen has it in him to play that type of ball, but he hasn't been consistent doing it this year. So, and Diggs is like the NFL version of Draymond Green, I think, at this point. So he's going to lose his fucking mind at some point. There isn't something about wide receivers wearing the number 14. They just lose their fucking mind between UK and Stephon Diggs. I'm going to take Dallas.
All right. Last but not least, we have the Sunday night game between the Ravens and the Jags. The Jags are 3.5 point underdogs at home. I'll go quick here. I'm going to take the Ravens to cover the points on the road. Simply because, they could, of course, still win and not cover. But I'm going to assume that they want to maintain this number 1 seed and they do not want to make this close. So they need to handle their business while the going is good. I said they win this handily in Jacksonville, and this should not be a close game. So please, Ravens, please. Nestor, by the way, he's taking the opposite. He's taking the Jags and the points. So yeah, June.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game, matchup because you got a one team coming in. You got an emotional high off the great punt return for the win, Baltimore, and then you got Jacksonville with their hearts just ripped out, for the second week in a row.
Right.
And so now they're looking at themselves like, my God, we could lose 3 in a row. And I just think Baltimore's too tough of a team for them. And I truly believe that. And then with Christian Kirk gone, Christian Kirk was coming on as his, he was the primary receiver this season. I know that Calvin Ridley started stepping up a little bit, but I like the Baltimore in this game. Baltimore covers this game, and they roll. Matter of fact, they roll in this matchup against Jacksonville. So I'm taking Baltimore all day in this game.
G Money.
Hey, Baltimore. They have number one rushing attack. When you look at Baltimore and how they run the ball, and the 49ers, how they run the ball. The 49ers use a lot of motion when they run. Baltimore just lines up and says, it's either going to be one of my 3 running backs, it's going to be my quarterback. We're going to run the ball, we're going to run it down your fucking throat, and then we're going to throw on you.
And Mahlon.
Who is the running back for Baltimore right now that started making himself a name against Seattle? His name is number 34. What? Anybody know his actual name?
I think it's
I can't get his name, but he's been balling out.
Is it his Gus Edwards, right?
Yes, I think that's him.
I think that's his name. Yes.
First of all, what a bitch doing what you did against my Seahawks. That was disrespectful. I don't appreciate it. But he has elevated this rushing attack.
Right.
In such a way, like I liken it to Gary will know this person, Jim will know this person. Seattle had a guy named Thomas Rawls that came in back in 2016 and was just tearing up the league.
He went to Notre Dame, right?
Yes. And so I liken this guy to that, to where all of a sudden you get this guy in there and you're hitting lightning in a bottle in the rushing game right now. Now, they're both 8-5 against the spread. So someone's got to lose here. But like June said, like Jacksonville is been reeling a little bit, and they're missing Kirk. And don't even get me started about Ridley. What a bitch. He's on my fantasy team. The only time he performs is when I put him on the fucking bench. He drops, even against the Bengals. He never catches the fucking ball. Like, I don't know what it is with Lawrence and Ridley. He always throws it to Ridley in double coverage, highly contested balls, 50 yards down the field. And you're like, just fucking catch one of them. But all he does is pull up 0 like his jersey number. He's a bitch. I don't like him at all. Go bet on sports again and get, suspended. What the fuck ever. So all of these people in fantasy talking him up before the year, and I fell for it and drafted him in the second round, they can all kiss my ass. And it's a busy ass. I take a lot of shits, so you can kiss it. But when you're looking at, like, the passing, right? Like, you're going, like, Lawrence and like, Jackson. They're both not playing great.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Steven Jackson hasn't been playing great. I mean, his last 2 games, 55.8% completion percentage, 56.3, 61.5, 56.5. Like, you can't complete passes. No, you got Flowers. He's supposed to, be a great rookie wide receiver, but you can't give him the fucking ball. But Lawrence hasn't been better, and he's still dealing with a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost to Cleveland. He threw 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and I think his mobility played a factor in that.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to the running game. And ETN is great, but scheming for Baltimore's rushing offense.
Yeah.
And you put their defense. You gotta go with Baltimore on this game.
Yeah.
I think Sunshine, the Prince, is going to have a rough outing, and I'm taking Baltimore.
All right. So just to recap, we're doing kind of the same thing we've been doing in the Ride or Die 5 with all these islands. So Saturday, we're all taking the Bengals except June. Saturday night, we're all taking the Packers except myself. We're all taking the Titans. Sunday, we're all taking the Cowboys except Nestor, and then we're all taking the Ravens except Nestor. So, yeah. We'll see what happens.
It's going to be an interesting week, man.
Yeah.
The NFL, listen, people, don't. If you're betting your mortgage on our picks, please don't. The NFL has just been fucking wild this year.
Exactly.
I think all of us are barely even scratching 500, if that.
Yeah.
Like, just crazy this NFL season has been. We've had a hell of a lot more losses this year than any other year that we've been doing.
I was doing the math thing last week, and this season specifically, I think most of us are right around 500. I think Nestor's the only person that's like maybe 5 or 6 games over 500 on the year, but
yeah, this is usually my bread and butter during the NFL season,
right?
And it's been tough stuff.
Yeah, with quarterbacks and running backs getting injured, mediocre play at times, bad coaching calls. I mean, you look at everything and you're like, man, it's not a good season. I mean, it's bad when Minnesota's on their third quarterback. When their second starting quarterback had played for 2 other teams before he got there as a backup and then starting. You just look at it and you go like, who's left standing? Who's left standing? And if you can make it through the season with your quarterback healthy and most of your defense healthy, then you're going to the playoffs. Or at least you should be going to the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, when you have Owens, O'Connell, Baker, Ritter, Minshew, Browning, Flacco, Beathard, Zappy, Trubisky, all these people that you're like, how? First of all, I didn't know half those people that I just named were still in the NFL, but the fact that starting quarterbacks have gotten hurt are now like thrust in the starting back role. Running backs that got paid have not been performing, right?
Yep.
Have we been talking about Henry or Jacobs or any of these people?
Nope.
No, we haven't.
And Taylor did get paid and got paid well. He's been out injured.
Yeah. Like Jalen isn't getting no Elliott jersey. I think he just ran for a season high, 68 yards last week. God bless him. Somebody give him a Salvation Army bucket to jump into. Jesus Christ.
I mean, he hasn't been running all year, so he should be healthy enough to run.
And wide receivers are getting hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Jefferson's been out all year.
Everyone's getting hurt. It's just a weird year. So
I'm glad my team is kind of healthy right now.
Outside of Diggs getting hurt, the Dallas Cowboys have been very fortunate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But Brand, even though the Seahawks kind of lit him up a little bit, but he still had that interception. Brand has been playing really great.
Yeah.
In the but yeah, it's just a wild year. Oh, I feel like there's a lot of people that are getting evicted right now because they're used to doing sports betting to pay their rent, and it's just not. It's not
a wild
good.
ride. We want to thank you all for. Go ahead, June.
I was gonna say, talking about that on my Bet MGM app. I started the season; it got pretty good. I got up to $1,500 on it. I'm back down to 600. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm done. I haven't made a bet in like 2 weeks now. It's just been so bad in the NFL."
Damn.
I'm only up $440 this year in my NFL bets because I do a thing where I bet $50 on every ride or die pick we make, and I'm getting my ass kicked. Picks this year. I'm losing money.
Yeah.
I think I had like $1,100 when I started. It's been rough.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, folks, thank you all for watching and listening. We'll be back next week, of course. Big shout out to June and G Money for joining us again. If you want to follow June on TikTok, his link is down in the description below. You know that Sugar Bowl is going to be on our Ride or Die that last Wednesday of the year. So
I saw that,
look out for that. Yeah, we will catch you all next week. And peace out. Have a good one.
Peace. Later.